Hello, my name is Chidi. So welcome back to our series, The Hierarchy of Consciousness. And then today we want to talk about the first step on that hierarchy, which is level 1, the blamer. So like the name rightly suggests, the blamer is someone who loves to blame, who loves to move blame to the other person or from one person to the other. The blamer is somebody who is never interested in taking responsibility for anything that goes wrong. Okay, but when things turn around well, he has no problem saying, I did it. And so it's actually very easy to identify who the blamer is. He starts and talks with I all the time. So but whenever there is an issue, you find the blamer wanting. Another good example of who the blamer is someone who loves to control. Someone who loves to bully, somebody who loves to control the other person, who likes to tell others what to do and what not to do. And when there is any slight issue, he tends to slide back. He tends to be wanting, he doesn't want to be pinned to any kind of project. You can't tend to put your hands on them, saying they are responsible for anything. So the blamer is always very conscious of himself. He doesn't want to be seen in bad light. He doesn't want to be seen as being imperfect. He wants to be seen as being perfect. So nothing can ever go wrong with him or whatever around him. And so a typical example of who a blamer is, for instance, you can see that in little kids, like when you were growing up as a kid or the kids around you. You always understand that kids never want to be held responsible for anything. They just want to argue. They just want to deny. They just want to claim all the good stuff, everything good is theirs, provided they just lay a hold on it, is theirs. And when anything goes bad, you find out that they tend to run away, they tend to run away from this responsibility. So one example or one of these things that is very common to us, or you can use to identify who a blamer is, could be, say, somebody goes for an interview. Somebody goes for an interview and after the interview never gets called back. A typical blamer would always say, those guys, they don't like me, we don't speak the same language, or they don't like the color of my skin, or they don't like my intonation. They always find something, who to push the blame to. So that level of consciousness is one that encourages you to stay in your comfort zone, is one that narrows and reduces your growth. It reduces your growth, doesn't allow you to grow up to your full potentials. All right, it doesn't allow you to grow up to your full potentials. So sometime before 2017, I was a typical blamer. I always thought my problem lied with some other person. I always thought if my father was alive, things would have been different. I always thought if I didn't go to a particular school, if I started my secondary school in a different school or my primary school differently, my mates would be ahead of me. Those are kind of examples that a blamer gave. But an event happened in 2017 that got me up to speed, that made me question my state of mind, that made me ask, what's actually happening. So a typical blamer is one who hates change. He doesn't want to do anything with change. He doesn't want anything that will bring any kind of discomfort. And so when you try to get him to leave his comfort zone, he's going to fight you back. He's going to see you in bad light. He's going to quarrel with you. He's going to throw all kinds of tantrums. So this level of consciousness is the consciousness we peg at level 1, that of the blamer. And so the blamer typically does not grow. He's stuck at where he is. So he wants you to we want to also hear from you, your part of the argument. Let's hear what you have to add to this conversation. Please like this video, share it, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Until we meet again, please stay factful and blunt.